Back on the road, though not traveling very far, our Stanford Cardinal head to our little brother in Fresno State with not one, but two Heisman hopefuls. We saw last week Nathan Henderson has made his way to the top of the running, but joining after a dominant game last week, Joseph Henry, the sophomore edge rusher. And currently, these two players are neck and neck in the sack tally. 10 for Henry, 10.5 for Nathan Henderson. But heading into this game against Fresno State, the one thing that they've done well is protect their quarterback. And leading the Bulldogs this year is Owen Kruger, the two-star recruit from El Dorado Hills, California. And honestly, he's not really been too bad. Slightly higher than a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. The biggest problem has been completion percentage. And perhaps the reason for that is Jeff Bishop, their captain on the offense, has only had 17 grabs this year, 1 touchdown. However, the junior receiver in Quentin Banks is their red zone threat. He has 5 touchdowns. Melendez, the running back who will get playing time at receiver, has 4 touchdowns. Their main target is Everett Penn, the true sophomore, averaging 85 yards a game. And defensively, there really are no key standouts across the board until you get to the senior at corner in Tyreek Jackson. As for special teams, they've only gotten to field goal range once this season. So after about a 3-hour bus ride, Coach Barrington is wanting to see his team light up this scoreboard today. As we are underway, a big boot will send it back to the 5, set to return, but multiple Cardinals standing in the way of that return. It'll be the 16 where Owen Kruger and the Bulldogs get their day underway. And we are already taking bets on which of these Heisman hopefuls will have the most amount of sacks today. Throwing the left side, big hit Lovelace. But it is Bishop holding on through that contact. First down for Fresno State. And facing a heavy pass rush here, the ball is out. And they're going to find their other star receiver in Penn. So already the captain and their leading receiver with a first down grab. To the running game and a big hit, Ty Holly. He put a shoulder into that running back, though picking up 4 along the way. We're going to go back to it and trying to get to the outside. Dragan reads it and sets up a clothesline. Lovelace ends that run, setting up a 3rd and 6. It's a 4-man rush and a check down is open. They will find their tight end. Or actually, no, check that receiver. Quentin Banks over on that left side here. With the 1st and 10, plus side, pop-up pass, and knocked through the hands of the actual tight end. Tyrone Heggie does a great job essentially playing some slot corner. Back to the run game here and grinding out another 4. A pretty consistent start for Urban. Sets them up with another 3rd down. They need 6 yards. And the pass rush arrives. It will be Alex Augustine picking up the first sack of the game. Ending a promising start, though, for Fresno State. And with all the hype around these two Heisman hopefuls, it's easy to forget about the guys down the middle. But Alex Augustine, not one you want to forget about. A dominant rusher of his own means. But a great job punting that ball. Once again, Fresno State making some plays. We're down at the 1 to start our first drive of offense. And right down the middle, it's Joe Wesovich. Gonna pick up about 10.5. And he's had some great performances of late. Expect more of that here today. With a dominant O-line against this defense. Wesovich lowers the shoulder. He's got another 11. Just an absolute bruiser of a back. He's gonna get a breather as Taj Jewell checks in here. 1st and 10. And it's gonna be play action. Rolling, throwing, off the hands of Madu. Some really good coverage, though, on the outside. Sets up 2nd and 10 with motion right-hand side. It's Lockett. And Sorensen, he's going to step up. They have a spy on him, but he will still pick up 7. For the Cardinal, that leaves them with a pretty easy to convert down here, at least with what we've seen from them the last couple seasons. Hard count. There is some early movement, but no flag on it. Thrown outside, and that's going to be Kramer, who's got the first down to the 45. He's had some pretty spectacular plays this season. Senior for the tight end group. Motioning all the way across, that is Lockett. And he'll go straight on into his route, though, throwing weak side, and it looks like two receivers collide for the Cardinal. And it was actually the aforementioned Kramer who was coming across, bumped into the senior receiver in Vallejo. Ball falls incomplete at 2nd and 10. Hard cutback lane, and Wesovich, he's going to have 5. Shout out, though, to the big old DT in Bono, able to get back to the outside to bring down Wesovich. Sets up a 3rd and 5 here for the Cardinals. Sorensen, a couple key route changes out there. Going outside, and again, it looks like some bump coverage or even running into teammates. A coach will leave the offense out there at the midfield line. Hard count, no one jumps. Looks like Sorensen is changing something up here. Getting the team set, hard count again, but it will be a Cardinal jumping early in Jewel, which will lead to a punt. Frankly, that drive comes to the end with not much of the defense really affecting things. More so this offense running into each other out there. As that'll be a short throw. Bishop, though, turning it into a solid gain for Fresno State. 2nd and 3. And there's going to be a quick stop. It is Nathan Henderson. Both these edge rushers definitely still get involved in the run game as well. It's really where Henderson made his name over the last couple years. 3rd and 6, and a throw to the outside is short of the line to gain. Melendez leaves inches to go. Frankly, a little bit of some lackluster offensive showing out the gates here. We've got 51 seconds left in the first quarter. See if either of these teams can make something happen, as that one's going deep for Bargava, and it's off his fingertips. His play this year really has come a long way after he was moved to the right side of this offense. But 2nd and 5, as there's a good cutback lane for Wesovich. He follows those blocks, rolling over defenders. And it seems like the key to success today for the Cardinals is just keeping it on the ground. Little fullback love here. Sterling Babineau gonna pick up 5. Well, that sends us to the break. First quarter has come and gone with blanks on the scoreboard. Stanford, a slow start for them offensively. Defensively, no problem. But sometimes it is these little brother rivalries that can create some really good games. 2nd and 5 to get the second quarter underway. And it's Wesovich back down the middle. Very few defenders like to get in front of him. Taj Jewell will check in here. A little bit more of that scat back receiving type back for the Stanford Cardinal. With a short throw left side, that's going to be Lockett, the freshman, dipping out with a gain of 13. And for the Cardinal, he will most likely be the leader for that receiving core into the future, as Bargava, Vallejo, both set to find their way out of here. As that one is back out to Lockett. He's got a gain of 8 and hops over the cameraman. A good showing of athleticism. Two receivers set as Thrash checks in right slot. But it's Jewell trying to follow the block, and he looks to be a little bit banged up, came down awkwardly on that leg. We'll have to look to get an update on him. For now, it is Joe Wesovich back out there for the Cardinal on a 3rd and inches with a 3-down defensive front. It's Wesovich right through that front, picking up about a gain of 6 from the 12 to the 6. It's 1st and goal. With a heavy shotgun look, a little bit of motion in the backfield from right to left is Sylvia, the tight end, as they look to have a pass, rolling, throwing, and it's Sterling Babineau. His 2nd career touchdown. The fullback has had about 14 attempts to find 14 points, and he finally has it for the Stanford Cardinal in the second quarter. And that's just a terrific showing of sticking with the play. We'll need to see that from the Fresno State offense, as they have shown some pretty good signs throughout this game. Rolling to the outside, they'll find Penn, gain of 4. And all in all, from what we've seen from the Bulldogs out the gate, is exactly what the stats show. It really is their passing game that should lead them to success. Melendez on the cutback here. He's got 3. It's about all 3 of their running backs who average 3 yards or less a carry. They need 3 here at the 32. And it's going to be a quick throw caught by the tight end, Silvera. Cardinal, they brought the blitz, and it was a good call from the OC of the Bulldogs to throw over that. Late handoff here, and just taking another big hit from Lovelace is Melendez. If you're going to set up a draw, you've got to get your blocks up front. Otherwise, it's going to be destruction in the backfield. Looking to set up the screen, and a great block there from the guard actually springs Melendez. Dragan looked like he had him dead to rights, but was able to slip underneath that block, setting up a 3rd and 4. As the Cardinal bring the heat, passes outside, and Rico bodies the man to break that one up. And it will be a Fresno State punt. Set back to return, Legend and Ogbar. He's got some blockers out in front, and will use that speed to get outside. He's approaching the 50, 40, 30, and will step out there. A great return for the Stanford Cardinal. And as the offense takes the field with a short field, do have an update. It will be Wesovich as the main back from here on out today. Throwing this one outside, we'll finally find Vallejo, who's able to get a gain of 7. Perhaps if that ball's out sooner, might have been able to get a little bit more, but can't complain. Down to the 24, handing off to 24, who's stuck in the backfield, but still works his way around for a gain of a yard. Looked like up in the booth, that was closer to a gain of 2. Can't argue with the refs from up here, though. 3rd and 3, and it's a power run. Wesovich, he's got the first and a cheap shot there. But frankly, with some of the hits delivered by Wesovich, I think that one will be all right. At the 18, it's 1st and 10, bunch left-hand side. And play action. Rolling. Trying to set up a throw here. A little bit behind and going to be well played. McNabb, the outside linebacker slash edge rusher from Fresno State, slaps it away. Hard count, no one jumps. Fresno State, they're locked in here. But throwing into a tight window, it's Thrash who fights his way into the end zone. What a showing of anticipation there from Justin Sorensen to deliver that ball into the gap just in front of the linebacker. And for Thrash fighting through and dragging into the end zone about 3 different defenders. I'll give the Cardinal a 14-point lead. Just over about 2 minutes to play here in the first half. And they're wanting to put together a big game because they did drop out of first place last week with a stop on the outside. It's Henderson. They did go from number 1 to number 3, despite not losing a game in about 35 games. So they're wanting to once again claim that top spot with a throw outside, and Tyrone Heggie couldn't keep it. His head flipped around a little bit quicker than his hips. Ended up tripping and dropping that pick. 3rd and 14 with a run outside, and reading it is Dragan. Timeout called there, Coach Barrington. Gonna set up the Cardinal about 1:45. And they'll just so happen to be starting at the 45 as well. Left hash, and the corner's sitting a little bit deep here, not trying to give up anything downfield. As Sorensen scrambles, he will slide down in front of the line to gain. Cardinal looking to go hurry up here with a single high safety. Looks like Sorensen is checking the sideline for a play call change. And they'll get that ball snapped about 1.5 minutes to go. Once again, Sorensen, he bounces to the outside. Gonna look to pick up a block, which he will from Wesovich. Scampering out at the 38. We'll stop the clock. Still 2 timeouts in that back pocket, keeping the 2 receivers spread. And again on the move, Sorensen, he's gonna step up. Puts on a little juke and spin. He's got the first down to the 22. Always a threat out there to run. He's got a good arm, but he's a dual threat quarterback. Still well over 1 minute to go. Cardinal down to the 22. And stepping up here again, Sorensen trying to evade some defenders. He gets to the outside and will dip out untouched at the 7. Just pure athleticism there from the QB. Looks like he'll get a breather as it's Lockett to the outside. Perfect blocking across the board. O-line, tight end, receiver, running back. Everyone did their job. And the Cardinal take a 21-point lead before half. We've still got time for something to happen here for Fresno State. That's what they're going to need as they're looking to air this ball out, but a sack it will be. Nathan Henderson gets, I believe, his first on the day, third tackle in the backfield. That'll just set up a 2nd and 22 here for Kruger. Though finding a nice strike across the middle to about the 35, they find Sweet. And trying to keep this momentum, they'll go hurry up. With another throw right down the seam, there goes Penn with speed to carry, 10-5 and touchdown. Bulldogs find their biggest plays of the half with next to no time to go in the half. Well, I hope those Bulldog fans didn't go anywhere because they just had a 3-play, 17-second, 75-yard drive. Gets the ball back to the Stanford Cardinal with 36 seconds to go. They start at the 36. And looking to step up again, Sorensen will get a gain of 1, and a timeout is called there, Coach Barrington. Did kind of look like Sorensen was looking to pass there, just didn't have enough time, so he tucked it. And now 30 seconds to go. Can they get at least into field goal range? Well, pressure building and pressure arrives. Offense going to have to go hurry up here as they look to get set. That clock is rolling down to about 15 seconds. They snap that ball. Thrown downfield, and Kramer, he goes up to get it down at the 40. That should be range for Sam Ritter. However, it is not the special teams unit coming out. 9 seconds to go. Offense stays with it. As they will look to the sideline. That one's up for Thrash, who has the catch, and he dips out at the 9. And again, we're going to see the offense stay out here for the Stanford Cardinal. Risky being this close. We'll see what Coach has in mind. With a quick flip, it's Vallejo and a touchdown. A 40-second drive, 36-second drive ran to perfection for the Stanford Cardinal with 1 second to go. It's a quick fade to the back corner of the end zone, and it erases the touchdown scored by the Bulldogs late here in this first half. That is just what two guys who have it dialed in looks like. But with that, we officially hit halftime. Once again, a 3-score lead here for the Stanford Cardinal. 140 passing yards to 123 rushing, averaging 8.2 yards a play, 17 first downs, and they've only had 1 penalty. Though, do have to give a shout out to the Fresno State offense. They've hit plays on this Cardinal defense. They just haven't done it with any consistency. They did find that touchdown in the first half, but Sorensen, he's on the top of his game. His anticipation is there. He's hitting key throws. But as the Cardinal take the field to get the second half underway, it's the second team offense out there. Sorgi, the quarterback, Bigham's down the middle. He's going to rumble for a 3. Now, this is a unit that has seen a good amount of playing time already this year in the first couple games. We'll see how Fresno State can do against this level of competition. As Sorgi dances around, he's going to lose a few. And a Card who just came in second plays a bit banged up at guard. I really hate to see that, especially when these young guys only have limited playing time. But a 3rd and 11 here for the Stanford Cardinal. Hard count doesn't do anything for him as Sorgi dances around, trying to get this play set up. He'll follow behind Bigham's, pick up a block, head down the sideline, and dip out plus side. Just a great job there to organize during the play and keep the offense moving. To the 48 will be a 2-receiver set either side here for the Stanford Cardinal. And under pressure, a second sack for number 27. It's Devontae Thomas. Heading into this game, he only had half a sack, so that'll boost his numbers up to 2.5. 3-receiver look to the left-hand side here for the Stanford Cardinal. And throwing out that way, on the money, they find the true freshman receiver in Cameron. Seems like these long down and distances, no problem for number 18 for the Stanford Cardinal. They're down to the 28. Keeping with these spread looks in pistol. And again, Sorgi, he's going to step up here, make his way by both the first and second level. Unfortunately, weaving around out there slows him down. He does get tracked down at the 10. As it is Lockett in motion left to right. They're going to set up the screen. They've got Bigums to the outside with blocks, but a great effort from 10. Without that effort, it's a easy walk-in touchdown. Does look like the play's being changed out there. Heavy look from the Bulldogs. Lockett back in motion. As they fake it to him, it's Sorgi on the keeper. Can't find him. About a gain of 1. Sets up a 3rd and goal at the 1. Trips out to the right-hand side, leaves Lockett lone to the left. And again, having to redirect, but a massive late hit there on Sorgi, but will not disrupt his touchdown. He's going to get up and dance in their end zone after the late hit on the touchdown scamper, giving the Stanford Cardinal a 35-7 lead over their little brother. After a good showing from the second-team offense, we'll see what the second-team defense can do. Though it looks like they are going to keep Henderson out there. A quick strike to the outside finds Bishop. And even the first-team corners were having a hard problem against Kruger, who was just throwing really pitch and catch with his receivers out there. Run game, Melendez, he's tracked down from behind and then cleaned up by Legend and Ogbar. But it does look like with the Heisman candidacy in play, both Henry and Henderson are going to play this complete game, or perhaps might get pulled in the 4th. We'll see, as there's another good run stop by Henderson. You could even hear a little boos raining down from the crowd as he stays in this game. Spin moving, finding space. Without that, there was no room. But a magnificent move there from Urban. Keeps the drive alive here for Fresno State, as they'll roll quickly and find, again, Penn on the outside. First down for Fresno State. Just the cover guys sitting a little bit too deep. RPO and a great play, Legend and Ogbar. Blink and you just might miss it. That RPO came out quick. 2nd and 10. Passes to the outside and will find Urban. The young outside linebacker in Sabri makes the play. He's going to be out there as some off-ball linebacker, both him and Bloom. On 3rd and 5, Fresno State, they're going to go with the draw right into those linebackers, dropping back into coverage. It opens them up completely to convert that first down. With a bunch out to the right-hand side, Cardinal bring the blitz. It's picked up well, and they'll find Penn across the middle. So far this year, the Cardinal have taken down some of the team's top receivers, but today, it's 97 yards for Penn, especially with that big catch before the break at half. To the outside, though, Urban shows off the speed. The safety did not flow over there to even put a threat in of a tackle. Fresno State, with their 2nd touchdown of the game, makes it 35-14. And in a battle of offense versus defensive second team, well, the offense is doing better. Now with House in at quarterback, so it looks like we'll see both the young freshman quarterbacks get some playing time. That is a decision I do really like from Coach Barrington, as the starting quarterback, Justin Sorensen, is just a sophomore, so these guys might be sitting for some time. Throwing out late and getting the toe drags is Madu. And he'll drag us right into the break as well. 4th quarter has arrived. 35-14, the Stanford Cardinal well in front, hoping that either Ohio State and or Purdue drop their games. Right now, the big focus is getting these young guys a little bit of playing time, see them develop with it. At the 47, it's back to some play action. Throwing downfield and tipped up, it will be picked off, but a flag is down. We'll see what this is after the play. Fortunately for Nagy House, he probably shouldn't have thrown that one, but it does look like it is a foul on the defense. Pass interference on the play will be a free 15 and the ball back in our hands at the 38. RPO is going to be a quick flip to the outside. Cameron with the spin. We'll get a good block there from Lockett as well. It is good to see the young receiver getting a little bit of some playing time. Hasn't seen too much this season. Throw to the outside. That's going to be Bargava. Spin move of his own. Will lose 3. But definitely a couple different play calls than what we normally see with the starting offense. So second team, they're working on something else down here. And under pressure, that's a big hit in on House. Rawlings provides that hit. It's 3rd and now 13 then. Bunch to the right-hand side with a hard count. Should have been a free play, though no flag on it. And we'll look for a check down here. That's Bigums angling towards and fighting for that first down. Sometimes you don't always have to throw for it. Just find an open guy and let him go to work. And that Bigums does, keeping this drive alive. Looking for the last receiver to come across. That is Bargava. Down to the 1. Cardinal now with Wesovich in at running back. Bigums needed a bit of a breather. And it'll be Wesovich right into the crowded gap. But that is still not enough to slow him down. He will pound his way through for the touchdown, making it 42-14. It's a good look for that second team line to get that kind of push. But we need to see a little bit more here from the second team defense. And under pressure, Alakai can't contain Kruger. He's going to bounce all the way to the outside, sliding down at the 45. First time we've seen him really use his legs today. Works out pretty well. Throwing left side and caught for the first down. Well, it was a slow start to the year, really for most of the year, for the captain of this offense, Bishop. He's putting together a really good performance today. And well-timed Bishop down to the 28. Looking over the information from this game, I don't see anything about injuries, but with how well he's playing, you'd have to imagine that there was something nagging him if he was not performing well this year. Henderson gets contained this time. All right, now he's definitely the one putting in the most work. Haven't called Henry's name yet today. We'll see if he can find a play here late. Well, it's going to be a flag in on him. Free play is going to be caught, Bishop. But Henry caught offsides at the snap. Will accept that penalty. Make it 2nd and 2 at the 20. Cardinal bring the heat. But leaving Urban wide open to the outside, he shakes off the tackle and finds his second touchdown of the game. Second team defense clearly needs to see a little bit more action because there is some issues with this group. They're missing out on some plays, but Fresno State, they're making their plays. They'll find their 3rd touchdown of the game. However, they failed an onside attempt, so the Cardinal, they're starting plus side, about 4.5 minutes to go, as his Bigums running right into his guard. Now goes a gain of 4 for the Cardinal. Now Nate House is still in this game. Didn't see too much really from him on that last drive, so getting another chance as a big block to help lead the way. Young lineman out there, when you hear the phrase double the backer, this is exactly what we want to see. Barcow demolishing the man, opening up the gap in the first place. As this with 1st and 10, it's back to Bigums, back down the middle. He lowers that shoulder and will get that first. And we're not seeing as much of the success through the trucking, but we do see a little bit more speed than what we get of Wesovich, who's back in the game here. He goes right side, finds the gap, and will pick up a good chunk as Devontae Thomas injured for Fresno State. Hopefully that's just a stinger or some cramps late on in this game. He's had a 2-sack day. Very impressive play. As it'll be a sweep here, though. Bigums cuts back in. Ends up getting corralled down the middle. Taking us through the 2-minute break with a 3rd and 2. And it's Thrash coming around. Thomas is back in the game. Not able to set the edge as Thrash picks up the first. Fun to see the big fella out there making that kind of run. Honestly, he's close to being a tight end kind of build. Play clock down to 1. Cardinal do snap it. Following those blocks is Bigums. Well, there's not much space to go out there. Down at the 4. Setting up 2nd and goal and getting a late check in here. Snap is good, and Bigums, he's down to the 1. Looking to get him a touchdown before this thing is all said and done. Offense stays out on that field. Clock 2, 1, and they do not snap it. Unlike the brotherly play here to not try to get an extra one in there late, but a 28-point second quarter would have been good enough to see the Stanford Cardinal through this game. Justin Sorensen, 4 touchdowns from him, only 140, but only played the first half of the game. All in all, the first team came out here, showed why they are far and above the bottom teams here in the Pac-12. Found their way to their next win. Got some playing time for the young fellas out there, and the second team offense performed. We could use a little bit more from the second team defense. And looking to join the Big Brothers team, we add 5-star safety Hakeem Friend. from Sanford, Florida. We're going to add a T to that and bring him out to California. We also add fellow DB 4-star gem from Deerfield Beach, Florida, Tim Cookus. But John Anzalone, unrelated to Alex Anzalone of the NFL, he's going to commit to Baylor. Now, I have to double check on these guys because there was one safety I was very intrigued by who had, I believe, a lot of speed plus the cover ability. Anzalone here, 93 speed to 77 zone, 79 man, pretty solid all-around safety. The one that I really wanted was indeed Hakeem Friend, 98 speed with 78 man and 76 zone. You put this man probably, I would say, more so at free safety. Let that speed roam in the back end. Now, it doesn't look like he has any abilities, but he could be a guy in the future who's going to pick off a lot of passes. As for the guys we were looking to recruit, that does round out everyone we had on our board. And that leaves us currently with, once again, the number one class. I believe this would put us at 6 years in a row. We're at 247.75 points. Next best team is Arizona State, surprisingly, who has 11 4-stars, 7 3s, and 1 5-star. They're at 222.85. So we still have a solid lead. And we'll see if we do any sort of extra recruiting at the end. I might take a look at a couple spots if I feel like we are a little thin. But recruiting, as it stands for now, is done and dusted. And that moves us into our first game in the Pac-12 against New Mexico. So we have to welcome them to the Pac. But they are coming off their first Pac-12 win against UCLA in a close game, 34-32. And that was mostly due to a fourth quarter lapse by the Lobos. Giving up 22 points to the Bruins wasn't enough, and they still came out on top. But against some of the other top teams, USC, they lost to 38-20. Lost to Boise State 31-22. And lost to UW 31-13. So hopefully we see a similar type game to this one on Friday. We play a good first half and get our guys out and healthy and let some of these young guys develop, especially with what we saw from that second team defense. If any of the starters do get injured, I'm a little worried. And it is a little worrying that we almost dropped out of this Heisman race entirely. Nathan Henderson, he was at the top 2 weeks in a row. He now drops down to number 5, and Henry drops out after a lackluster performance. Well, the man that he really is chasing, the last Heisman winner of the Stanford Cardinal, not only has the team record, but the entire national college football record for sacks in a career as he hit 60. Cassius Sampson, now in the NFL. As for season-wise, though, that is still Terrell Suggs with Arizona State. He had 24. And in a game, Western Michigan's Amir Ismail, he had 6. I feel like we've come very close to breaking the game and season records. In fact, I feel like we did have more than 24 at one point, but I can't say that for sure right now. What is for sure is Nathan Henderson is at 11.5, so we're going to need a really strong push here at the end if he's to get anywhere close to that season record. So make sure you're sticking around here and show some love to your Stanford Cardinal by hitting that like button, and make sure you're here on Friday as well as we take on the New Mexico Lobos. So hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button, and tap that bell icon so you get notified when all these videos come out, as we have a decision to make for tomorrow. Do we see Cha-Cha Vaz return, or do we start a franchise on MLB The Show? Make sure you're staying tuned, as we'll be back here 12:30 Pacific time tomorrow for that decision. As for your Cardinal, they'll be back on Friday, back in Palo Alto, hosting the New Mexico Lobos.